A leader at the height of her power. Here, Nicola Sturgeon cleaning up in the 2019 general election. All the while dominant in Scottish politics too, as the longest-serving First Minister of Scotland, the first woman to lead the country, and the first whose departure from high office has not involved death, defeat or scandal.
I will never, ever give up on Scottish democracy.
A career spanning 2 decades, punctuated with great highs, but also lows, leaving office her mission unfulfilled. Nicola Sturgeon was born in 1970 in Ayrshire, this part of West Scotland, a Labour heartland, but with Margaret Thatcher in power, it was the SNP she joined at the age of 16. In the late 1980s, as Alex Salmond attempted to make his mark on Westminster, Nicola Sturgeon was in Glasgow, studying law, debating and campaigning. Quiet, serious and focused, she soon impressed within the SNP, later becoming her party's deputy leader and then deputy First Minister to Mr Salmond, the man she described as her mentor.
Yes, sir.
She soon formalised another relationship, marrying Peter Murrell, the SNP's longtime chief executive. A year later, and an SNP majority at Holyrood in 2011 meant a mandate for an independence referendum and a huge opportunity for Nicola Sturgeon. After the pro-independence campaign lost the 2014 vote and Alex Salmond resigned.
The dream shall never die.
It was that dream that Nicola Sturgeon inherited, succeeding him as Scotland's first female premier.
A modern and confident Scotland, fit for purpose and fit for all of her people.
And out of Salmond's shadow, Sturgeon shone. The 2015 election, her breakout moment.
It simply cannot be, and it will not be business as usual when it comes to Westminster's dealing with Scotland.
The SNP almost wiped out Scottish Labour and have been the third party at Westminster ever since. Will a change of leadership shift that landscape too?
I'm not complacent. Labour has to set out new ideas, a new vision and a new passion for how we build a more prosperous future for Scotland, and it is a significant moment, a significant opportunity, but that means us setting out what that positive change looks like, and I relish the opportunity to do that.
A strong performer, Nicola Sturgeon impressed in the 2015 TV debates, a master of the selfie too, all helping to build an image of a modern political leader. But when it came to policy, her record much more mixed.
There's no doubt that she was successful at the ballot box, but in terms of using that power, there were key failings. One of them was the education attainment gap, which she said she would close. She made that promise. That never happened. Scotland has got a shameful drugs death record. That barely shifted as well. And look at the chaos in the health service, from the GP service through to A&E and also in the ambulances. There's no doubt that Nicola Sturgeon's domestic record is very patchy.
Scottish Parliament.
As she continued at the ballot box, UK Prime Ministers came and went. Nicola Sturgeon a thorn in the side of successive PMs, a less prickly relationship with her latest counterpart, but their political objectives miles apart.
Let me first start by paying tribute to Nicola Sturgeon for her long-standing public service, and I wish her well in the future. I've consistently said that I think what people in Scotland want to see is their two governments, the Scottish Government and the UK Government, working constructively together on the priorities that really matter to people.
Brexit, another fault line between Holyrood and Westminster. Opposed by the majority of Scots, it reignited the question of Scottish independence again, but failed to get Nicola Sturgeon much closer to an independence vote. The Supreme Court ruling last year that Holyrood
does not have the power to legislate for a referendum on Scottish independence.
Holyrood overruled too over the rights for transgender people as the government in Westminster blocked equality legislation over the fears for the impact on safe spaces for females. But Nicola Sturgeon's potent combination of communication and political skills proved invaluable during the pandemic. She was widely praised for her leadership, even though mistakes were made and many thousands died.
Did you break the ministerial code?
But soon after came perhaps her lowest moment, when the Scottish Government's botched mishandling of harassment complaints against Alex Salmond and Miss Sturgeon's role since turned a friendship into a bitter feud.
I will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
By choosing the timing of her departure, Nicola Sturgeon remains the master of her own destiny. But she leaves office having failed to determine Scotland's. That second referendum further away and a vacuum at the top of her party. Scotland's political landscape has shifted, and not necessarily to the SNP's advantage.